I love you, Judge Wild.
Okay, one, two, three, you're on.
How you doing? Oh, we got to be on. Of course we're on. Look at that Rumble connection. That's fantastic. We just finished the shopping show. The shopping show was over on Silly and Fun. That was just about whether you're going to spend wisely. We just talked about products. We talked about prices. We talked about whether you'd actually use a product. And if you win, if you don't purchase something, if I convince you not to buy something, you win. You're going to save all your money in your 20s, your 30s, and your 40s, and you'll retire in your mid to late 50s. That's that show on Silly and Fun. It's also a live stream, so yeah, we just came off of a live stream, switched over into this show here on Intelligent Talk. Please go ahead and follow. It doesn't mean I'm your leader. There's no such thing. No Rumble content creator believes that you are listening because you want to follow somebody off a cliff, anywhere, to the promised land. You're not trying to follow somebody. You're just showing a thank you. And that's what it means. You thank them for putting content here on Rumble. It's not all that offensive. It's just kind, especially the shopping show on Silly and Fun. We have a good time over there. Here, we might hurt somebody's feelings. If we're going to hurt your feelings, it wasn't intended, but it was certainly my opinion. And you're not going to like it, and you're going to hate me, and you're not going to follow, and you're not going to like the video. Why? We don't agree with our parents. We don't agree with our kids. We don't agree with our spouse. We don't agree with our next door neighbor. We get along fine. We give love and warmth and kindness to people, even if we don't believe everything they say.
Listen carefully. 1. Dry humor and side remark, snark, is not intended to hurt your feelings. 2. You can evaluate and care about the plight of others and still move on quickly without guilt. 3. Your best use of time and energy is to keep your own life lovingly and solidly positive.
So my in-studio sounds, I'm not hearing in my left ear. All of a sudden, it's not in my left ear. All right, no problem. I'm going to just pretend that when I play the in-studio sounds that you're hearing them, and it might just be 15 seconds of silence. Let's move on with the show. There's just no reason that this should not be in my left ear. There's no technical reason whatsoever. So anyway, so here we go. Let's go on with the show. I'm not going to play any more in-studio sounds because you might not be hearing it. So let's just move with the show. I know you hear my voice because my right ear says you hear my voice. All right, so let's do that. Click, click, and click, and we'll look at the headlines right now. There's a click, there's a click, there's a click, there's a headline. South Korea. So somewhere in the world, there are actual countries. There are countries where people stab their political foes. They stab people they don't agree with. They pretend to be a fan. They show up. The candidate shows up, and then they stab them. What they call opposition party, opposition police, opposition chief in other countries. We just call them the Republican candidate or the Democrat candidate, whatever you want to call it, all right? So in public, some fans mobbed this person in South Korea to get, wow, a celebrity, a politician, and somebody stabs the person in the neck. Not good. Secret Service, they're the ones who are on top of this, right? In the United States. This isn't going to happen in the United States. There's nobody out there trying to kill their political foes. We have a civil society in the United States. We're not inviting people across the border who would do this stuff. We don't have illegal aliens who would do this stuff. We don't have citizens who would do this stuff. We know who everybody is, and they're all wonderful people. I don't know. Let's not have this in the United States of America. How about that? Let's just stick with that. That sounds like the plan we need to have. We're not stabbing people in the neck because we don't agree with them politically. All right? It didn't happen on January 6th. It didn't happen on January 7th. It didn't happen on January 5th. And hopefully it doesn't happen anytime during 2024. All right? Let's move on. Next subject. Who's going to say next subject for me? I need the next subject person. Here you go. How about you? Volunteer.
You need to move on to the next subject.
All right.
Next subject.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm going to increase the volume in my left ear. There you go. I probably hear it now. Cops recover a suicide note. A man drove a car with explosives into a crowd in New York City. All right. I suppose that's clickbait that's worth a story. You know what happened. It's something that happened in the United States of America. It happened in New York City. Don't know. So a deranged man. If it's a suicide note, that's how they know he's a deranged man. Whatever they read in that note says he's deranged. Or is that just an opinion by a headline writer? I don't know. Move on. You have things to do today. I have things to do today. We all love and are loved. We have things to do today. October 7th attack. Oh, this has nothing to do with that. It has to do with aircraft carrier. So after the October 7th attack, so now here we are on January, whatever, close to the 7th. So we have, let's see, November, December, January, 3 months, about 3 months now. And those aircraft carriers, whatever they have there, putting striking in Syria, striking on Damascus airport. So there are a couple of carrier groups. We knew another one was on the way, so that means this one can go home. So there's probably more to this story. It doesn't mean it's being abandoned. Doesn't mean that area we just decide to retreat. So it's not really a story. I mean, yeah, if you have sailors who tell you that they're on the USS Gerald R. Ford aircraft carrier, then I guess you care. And the rest of us say, okay, that's fine, and we move on. Are we going to read? Are we going to click and read a whole story about this? I don't think so. We don't need any more photos. Oh, yes, we do. We will. Beauty queen, lawyer. Okay, there's your clickbait. So there's a car crash, and if you're a lawyer, you're important. If you're pretty, you're important. And too bad she wasn't a mom. 27 years old. If she would have been a mom, it would have been mom, comma, beauty queen, comma, lawyer, dies in Mexico car crash. At least they put Mexico in there, so you would know it wasn't in the United States. But the reason they did this story, in my mind, I'm imagining these people put this into the story because the girl's in a bikini in a picture. There you go. Beauty queen gets your attention. Oh, pretty. I'm going to see a photo, and I'm going to see, I don't know, some good-looking lady. And then you see a bikini picture because the media wants to exploit this picture and this lady. So this is a victim being exploited by the media. That's how I see it anyway. I'm allowed to have my opinion. That's how I see it. I think they're exploiting her. Look what we found online on her Snapchat or whatever, on her Instagram, on her Facebook. Look on her TikTok. Look at, we found this bikini picture of this victim. Let's splash it up here. Oh, maybe the parents gave it to him. Maybe some other news outlet did all the hard work to find the bikini picture for the exploitation of this victim. And then anyone who runs the story with this exploitation picture of a victim to get clicks, it's their business model. If it has bikinis, it gets clicks. If it has a skimpy bikini, it gets more clicks. I don't know. Let's get rid of the picture. I mean, we didn't need to see it, did we? I guess you had to. I was talking about bikini pictures and exploiting people in the news for clickbaits. Clicksbaits. Doesn't even work like that way. Clicksbait. Tops Republican latest to back Trump. Okay, good. Endorsements. Move on. The equestrian. So they found more pictures of her, I'm sure. This is an old story from last year. And I happened to save a couple of their bikini pictures. Where is it? Oh, here it is. I think this is the same lady right here. I think that's the same one for that same story. Now, is that me exploiting her? I don't know. Here's another one. That's another picture of her. Now, was this all fun? Was this a really awesome thing in the day to look at the bikini picture? Is that exploitation in the news when they put up those bikini pictures last year and now they have, I don't know, they have her in some sort of an outfit right now. Let's see, there she is. So now she's going to jail. And they have this picture waiting for the next little tidbit in this story, this old story from last year. So now she's imprisoned and you get to see another picture of her boobs. Now, if I put that in the description, like a booby pictures in the news, I'll probably get AI to block what I put out there because I use the word boobies. What stuff's on the internet that's way worse than somebody saying the word boobies or typing the word boobies? That doesn't get blocked, that gets shown to children. And there I am, a grown man, close to death, like I'm over 40. All right, close to death, and I'm counting down to my death. And I use the word boobies, and they're probably going to block me in some way. Harvard, a gay president? Yes, gay. Claudine Gay. Claudine Gay, Harvard president, faces fresh calls. More plagiarism. Move on. Casey Anthony, nobody cares. That's so 1800s. Like, that's like three centuries ago. Casey Anthony, we don't care what she says. We don't care what her parents say. We don't care what they're trying to... Oh, but the public needs to know this. No, the public needs to know nothing. Even if you're freaking innocent, even if everybody's innocent and it was just a slip and fall in the swimming pool by the kid, we still don't need to hear anything. We're moving on. Home renovation, hand grenade. I have a fake hand grenade, and I know I own one, and I don't know where it is. If someone came and stayed in my house and I left the house to go get groceries and they wandered through my stuff, they might find a fake hand grenade, and I don't know where it is. I tried to think about it before I before I started this show. I decided I don't know where it is. I think there's a spot it should be where I think I last saw it, but maybe since then I moved it without thinking about moving it, and now I don't know where it is. So if I die and they come to the big house at Judge Wild Estates and they go through my stuff, somebody's going to be running out of the big house. They're going to bump into a bunch of walls, fall down some stairs. I don't know, try to find the door. It's a big house at the Judge Wild Estates. They might not find the door. They'll jump out a window. They'll break through the glass, because they think a grenade's in the house that's going to blow up when they go through my estate. I don't know where that grenade is. I'm thinking now of another spot it might be. After the show, I might look for that fake grenade. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Probably just put it out in the living room for decoration, the family room, right? So when a burglar looks in the window and sees a grenade, maybe they won't come into my house. Put it in the kitchen window. I don't know. I'm going to look for that fake grenade today. This one was found in a wall. They tore apart something. Sheet metal paneling. They found it in a wall. I guess they think it's a real hand grenade, and it might be. I don't know. Police investigate first case of girls gang rape in metaverse. Okay. So you have this virtual reality thing on your face, on your head. It's really uncomfortable. And you're going to get into something where it says, look, we're going to have a rape. And you're going to be the virtual person we rape. I'm sure that would be traumatizing. But I don't know what to do about it. I mean, you're using it. Was it a surprise? I mean, did you say, hey, I understand that this is a violent game of all sorts of debauchery of all kinds, and it's virtual, and I'm going to play it, and then I'm going to have a virtual gang rape accident. I mean, just, it's a possibility, and yet you play the game. If it was a surprise gang rape, you didn't know it was part of the game, and it happened, would you take off the virtual reality thing, or would you go through with it? Do you have no presence of where your reality is when you're on a virtual reality headset? I have one. It's right over to my right. I'm pointing to it. It looks just like the one she's wearing in the photo, and I'm not going to show you the photo. It's somebody else's photo. I don't need to show it to you. All right? So anyway, you could be traumatized by virtual reality. I believe that. I can throw up using the virtual reality headset. That's pretty easy. Just a simple roller coaster or a motocross on dirt, and you're the motocross rider and you're being thrown through that. In virtual reality, I'll throw up. In real life, if I did dirt bike jumping, I don't think I'd throw up. All right? I have a better idea with my brain where I'm at. Virtual reality doesn't seem to be real enough to where you don't throw up if you have vertigo type issues. YouTuber. I don't care what a YouTuber is. All I know is they're exploiting somebody. First, they're exploiting the name YouTube. There's no such thing as a YouTuber any more than it's the difference of a Rumbler or an Instagrammer. All right? So it's just supposed to get you to click. It's a clickbait thing. All right? So, I don't know. Jump from a cruise ship during a fight with a girlfriend. So the person jumped. Was he jumping to get clicks? So this story is here because of the clickbait photo. This is the clickbait photo. It shows like it's not even a low cut. It's almost a no cut dress, like all the way down a top. And it shows a lot of acreage of her breasts. All right, there. That's the exploitation of others in the news. When you put boobies out there. Las Vegas dad kill of 7. All right, does this have anything to do with the Las Vegas dad killed of 7? So let's just replace that with a man. All right, just a man. Because any man who might have a tragedy is probably worth your compassion and love and kindness. Man killed by carjacker who gunned down. It doesn't matter who the gun killed his own mom and fired at cops. How about man killed by carjacker? Is that the story? Then why do we have Las Vegas man dad of 7? We don't need it there. If you're not a dad, are you worthless? Would you just be called man? Well, you're not important. You're not a dad. You're not in the important category of all these wonderful, great dads who created 7 kids. All right? If you don't have any, if you have 3 kids, you're not all that important. That's not a headline. We won't say how many kids you had. Well, if you have 1 kid, you're just a dad. If you're a dad of 3 kids, you're starting to be an important person. If you're a dad of 7 people, you're God. All right? We put you in the headlines. We put you right up there, up front. You're a Las Vegas dad of 7. So you worthless people who only have 1 kid, you worthless people who have no kids, right? You didn't find the right lady for you, so you didn't make a kid. That's pretty virtuous. That's pretty important. That's really good for society, that you didn't meet the right lady to have a kid with, so you didn't. How many people are meeting the wrong lady and having a kid with them? All right? So just because you're a dad doesn't mean you picked the right lady. Doesn't mean you had kids in a good, loving relationship and marriage. So this whole dad thing versus not dad thing, and how they slice it up on whether you're in the news or you're not, is just ridiculous. A dad is clickbait. Oh, because there's very, very rarely is there a dad. Very rarely is a dad in any sort of trouble. Student convicted of murder, fiance dragging them, move on. It's too complicated. A lot of tragedy in this world today. We do know that. We recognize that every day. A lot of tragedy. A lot of human beings really having terrible days. Right? Getting shot, getting stabbed, getting pushed into something that hurts them, getting punched, getting knocked down with their head hitting the concrete, whatever. I get it. We have a lot of compassion for everybody who has a tragedy today. We're not going to do a moment of silence. What we will do is recognize, and you and I will right now say to each other, we do have compassion. We feel compassion for tragedies that happen. We just can't read every one of them. And we're not going to read 3 of them because that's our quota for the day. Like, I need to feel sad and terribly upset over 3 human tragedies every day, or I'm not a a compassionate human being. I'm not worth anything. I'm just a stoic idiot. No. You don't have any quota you have to read of human tragedy. You have things you're working on in your life. You have people you love in life. You're proactively warm and kind to people in your life, and you're going to continue to be that way. You don't have to read a quota of bad news each day, political news that gets you all upset. All right? People doing wrong by other people, unfair things, pretend outrage, planes on fire. You don't have a quota of how much sadness you must read each day in order to be a good person in the U.S. Being a good person depends on how you act in all your actions, on all your words, and all your encouragement and support, your loving and your kindness and your warmth towards other people, whether it be your coworker, your a neighbor, a family person, a friend. That's where it lies. So when you look through news, you don't have a quota you have to read and feel sad about. It's like, oh, this is the first tragedy. I better click and read all the story. No, you don't have to click and read all the story. You can move on with your life. This lady lost her driveway. I'm moving on. I'm not even showing the photo. Tupac, don't care, moving on. A Mexican man in Mexico. All right, so it's a story about a Mexican man in Mexico holding his sister's head, and her body isn't with the head. All right, so you move on. Burger King cook. All right, so he felt like they didn't pay attention to him after a bunch of years. He was paid. He worked hard. He was a good man, supposedly, at work. He had the job for a long, long, long time. And when Christmas comes along, Christmas is what? The birth of the baby Jesus. You're looking for a gift? I'm sorry, you're looking for a gift? It's not what the news tells you. It's not what the meteorologist tells you. It's not what the advertisers selling things tell you. Christmas is the birth of the baby Jesus. It's not, I'm going to wait for my gift and it's going to be a lot because I worked for my employer a long time. They have to give me a gift. No, they don't. All right? You're not celebrating the birth of the baby Jesus. You're just wanting a gift. And so if you look at the rest of the story, they do crowdfunding, and with the crowdfunding money, he buys a little house. There you go. That's the story. That's not a Christmas story. That is a gift story. He wanted a gift, and someone didn't give him a gift, so he went to GoFundMe, or somebody went to GoFundMe for him, and then a whole bunch of people gave him money. That's not the birth of the baby Jesus. That's not a celebration. That's not a holy day. That's just somebody decided to whine that they didn't get an extra gift at Christmas versus their salary, their wage, and some other people bought them a house. This should have been the top story right here. And it's buried right down here, but that's okay. So in Japan, in Tokyo, there's a plane, a pretty big plane that can carry almost 400 people, maybe 379 people, something like that. And for some reason it started on fire. What was the reason? 2 airplanes hit each other on a runway. And so this big airplane was hit by a small airplane, and it burst into flames. All the people got out of there. Evidently, the 5 crew members died because what did they do? They stayed with the airplane. They waited till everybody else was to get off, and they died in the fire on the airplane in the middle of the night, if that makes it worse. And it's not good. But a lot of the passengers got off. They were smoke and then all that stuff. So I did read this story. And I don't mind if you read stories. I'm just trying to get you to be on guard about headlines that might not really be news. In my opinion, this is really news. All right? And even if it didn't happen in the United States, it's really news. And it's good. Those passengers were able to escape the flames and get off of the plane. You know, where would that work? It would work in a place. It would work in a place where people cared about each other and helped each other get off the plane and follow instructions to go this direction or that direction, so everybody's going in the same direction and not clogging up the aisle and not clogging up the exit. Getting almost 400 passengers off an airplane really quickly for a plane that's on fire and the crew dies, but the passengers are okay. Getting those people off the plane really, really quickly means you have to forget about your luggage. You have to forget about any personal possessions anywhere on the plane. You're not trying to go get something. You're not trying to get up and get your baggage out of the overhead because that baggage is super important. If somebody would have done that on this plane, all 400 or close to 400, nearly they say, wouldn't have escaped that airplane. There would have been probably tens of people, if not hundreds of people dead, if you have one person clogging up the escape because they wanted to go back for their pods, or they wanted to reach up into their luggage and get the $100 bill they had up there in their luggage, whatever. Could have really been horrible if enough people on this plane were selfish, didn't keep their eye on getting everybody off the plane. One rule is getting everybody off the plane. That's it. In a fire, in a crash, the rule is getting everybody off the plane. Not, I need to save this item of mine or that item of mine. I need to clog up the whole aisleway or the exit. They say go this direction, because everybody hears this direction. Then you go this direction. If you hear something else other than this direction, and everybody else goes like they're supposed to, you're going to clog those other people up, and they're going to die. You might be able to be ahead of them and get out, but they couldn't get out. The last 10 people couldn't get out because you slowed things up. They should play this. What I just said. Grab this audio from this show. They should play this on every airplane flight rather than that other safety briefing. You don't need to pay an actor. You just say, here's a message from Judge Wild from one of his shows. We'd like you to think about this. Have a good flight. And then you play this audio over the speakers. Hi, I'm Judge Wild. Have a good flight. Dazzling fireball, meteor, Europe, lottery, old story, nobody cares. It's not even a story. Lottery stuff is just an ad. Have you ever read a lottery story that really matters? No, you haven't. Headlines about Epstein's this and that, they don't know. The document dump hasn't been combed through yet, so they don't know. They don't have a story they're trying to get you to click. Look at all these clickbait words. Epstein, flight logs, presidents, Clinton, Trump. Yeah, see? A lot of clickbait. That's how they're going to get you. Earthquakes in Japan, Jeffrey Epstein again, move on. Your day is important to you, it's important to me. If I were around you today, I'd give you kind and love and warmth. I'd be positive. And as long as you played the game the same way I do, by choosing to have a good day, by being a good person, then you and I get along great. It won't matter what color you are, it won't matter what is going on in your bedroom. You straight up be a good person around me, you have me helping you have a good day as well. People are not running up and down the street screaming and yelling and other people liking it. It doesn't matter. If a little kid didn't have, if a mom lost her baby's blanket or something and ran up and down the street saying, my baby's blanket's gone, I can't find it, people wouldn't care. Nobody cares. Don't run up and down the street and spoil our peaceful neighborhood, our peaceful workplace, our peaceful grocery store, our peaceful streets through town. We don't need anybody screaming anything and blocking traffic and yelling, saying, look at me, look at me. Naked bike ride. We don't need it. We don't need a message from you. We get along with everybody in our neighborhood as long as they're not screaming and yelling up and down the street. Even in their tree is over our yard and they're dropping 18 million leaves into our yard over a 3-month period and we have to keep cleaning them up. We're still having a peaceful neighborhood because we're just dealing with it. It's no big deal. It's a big deal, but it's not a big deal. Compared to having a nice, peaceful life up and down our street, and guess what? It's not just our street. The United States has a lot of neighborhoods. Neighborhood after neighborhood after neighborhood after neighborhood, all around you. All across town. The next town, the next town. You go traveling. Look, it's peaceful here. We're pulling in and getting gas. It's peaceful. Nobody's running around saying, look, you're a different color than me. I hate you. I'm pink. I don't hate white people. I happen to be pink. I was born pink. I'm going to be pink when I die. I hope. I hope. I'm going to be pink when I die. I'm not a white person, but I have nothing against white people. I don't have anything against black people, brown people, yellow people, color. By the way, the color of the rainbow is not what we all look like. We don't look green. I look blue sometimes. I guess pinkish blue, kind of like that. But the color of the rainbow belongs to the kids, and the fascination of a rainbow appearing in the sky belongs to the kids. That color pattern belongs to everybody in a neutral way. It is not intended to be turned into a flag, meaning something that divides us in any way, shape, or form. It doesn't need to be run up and down the street and scream because you have a rainbow-colored flag. You know, that belongs to the kids. Get a different flag. Get a flag that, means something, to you, and use it as your coat of arms or whatever, shield of arms. Use it whatever you do to represent yourself, but don't use the rainbow for that. What good person takes the innocence, the child inside of all of us as adults, the child inside of the child? Why would you take something that's so fascinating like the rainbow and use it just for your little purposes? Oh, but it's a huge, whatever. You know what I'm saying. Whatever. Loser, double loser. No, seriously. One good thing in 2024 that could happen is people give up the rainbow as part of your organization. Don't use it. Leave it in the public domain as just a nice, innocent nature thing up in the sky. Come up with another symbol. It's okay. What's offensive about that rainbow flag is that you think you're going to use that universal, innocent nature thing that we all have awe and wonder over every time we see a rainbow in the sky. You're going to selfishly use that for some sort of screaming and yelling purpose that you've invented, that we have to care about out in public. I don't care about it out in public. If I were LGBTQ, then I would care about it in private with you. I'm not LGBTQ. It's your private business. Me not being LGBTQ, whatever, is my private business. I don't need to go up and down the street screaming that I'm not LGBTQ any more than you should have to feel this need inside of yourself to run up and down the street and scream, I'm this or I'm that. And here's the rainbow. No, leave the rainbow alone. Did I play the ending yet? Let's play the ending and get out of this. I don't know why I started ranting there, but I'm glad I did. Oh my goodness, everybody's happy today. Everybody's getting along just fine. If there are people who aren't getting along just fine, then maybe they're a problem. But everybody else, you, I, we're being kind, loving, and warm toward each other.
Exactly. Oh my gosh, so true.
But do you always agree with me?
I want you to know that I don't always agree with you.
Oh yeah, but these people do. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, that's sweet. Thank you very much.
If you're grumpy, I will tell you to shut up. If you're grumpy, I will tell you to shut up. You'll see that no one else is grumpy if you look around this place. So if you're grumpy, I will tell you to shut up.
You, my coworkers, are so beautiful and incredibly intelligent. I'm so glad to be here. We will have a great day.
Oh, cool. That's really good. You coworkers, y'all having a good day? How about you lonely people?
Are you suggesting the mutual bonding of two desperate, lonely people?
Yeah, girl.
Sounds good to me.
Sounds good to me. Let's do it.
Such a beautiful day. I just wanted to put a nice big smile on your face. It's a shame you can't see the smile on my face. Have a very, very nice day.
We'll do this news show, NEWS news show. We'll do this news show again, not the exact same stuff. If we come up with different headlines before the end of the afternoon, this evening we'll do another headline news show. Just chat again about the news and get through it and move on with a very happy, healthy evening and sleep well tonight. That's all we're shooting for today. A great day, a great evening, and the news is not going to spoil our good time and how we treat each other.
I love you. Bye.
Thank you. I love you too. Bye.